Just in case you didn't know, people who watch this channel for some reason, despite the fact they live in Finland, seriously, why? Move somewhere more sunny so you get more melatonin in your body and you're not that sad. But we have a new leader of the resistance, and that man is Paul Murray. And of course a new leader of the Liberal Party, which is Peter Dutton, who shall hereby be known on this channel as the deputy leader of the resistance. No one shall overthrow the freedom fighter in chief.
Yeah, John Connor just got fatter.
Ooh, fatter. Not allowed to say that anymore. Bloody Labour with their political correctness. The resistance tried to warn us about this, but we didn't listen. And to be perfectly honest, Labour is kind of like Skynet, just rolling out endless charge stations for the inevitable takeover. Seriously though, I didn't think it would be this early on that I would have to hold Labour to account, but what happened to you, Albo? You used to be cool. Isn't that amazing? Anthony Albanese as a young man looked like Dwight. And that's what's tearing me up inside, TBH, because you just know if Albo saw that joke, he'd be saying, oh yeah, a comparison joke. Bit hackneyed, but I'll be a good sport and laugh along. But no, he had to wrangle in Tanya Plibersek for this sick call that got mad Sky News cred.
Well, I think there'll be a lot of children who've watched a lot of Harry Potter films who'll be very frightened of what they're seeing on TV at night, that's for sure.
What, you're saying he looks strange? He looks odd?
I'm saying he looks a bit like Voldemort, and we'll see whether he can do what he promised he'd do when he was last running for leader, which is smile more.
First off, what an absolute dumbass that Brisbane host is. What do you mean by that? What do you think? How do you have a job in communications? You're an idiot. But anyway, oh my God. Tanya Plibersek made the comparison that every blue check ever on Twitter has ever made. Even the Sky News clip condemning her for it. Look at the thumb they chose for YouTube. It's this. It's titled, Tanya Plibersek's comments were very mean and nasty. You blacked out 2/3 of the screen so he looks even darker. Which I have to say actually is Sky News painting him in a better light, making sure that he doesn't get any light, because this is Channel 9's thumb. Liberal leadership, baby found. Are those two separate stories or not? Sky News then cuts back to Bowling Ball Head, who goes on to condemn The Mean Girls, another movie reference, where he then says...
That was Professor Tanya Plibersek getting very mean and nasty yesterday.
Which, as usual, Chris, is just a great encapsulation of your entire broadcasting career, as it's just a shit call. She doesn't look anything like that. She looks like Fleur de Clure's mum, so as usual...
Gutter ball.
And also, obviously, it's really hard to comprehend the idiocy of this, but now to me pretending to be morally vexed about something I'm currently doing, knowing full well that I am supposed to be getting morally vexed about the thing that I'm doing, he concludes with...
There you go, hey, so much for the new elevated nature of political debate.
What goes on in that man's urethane skull? It is amazing that Murdoch monkeys are so used to changing their opinion day to day that they're like the chimp you can teach to solve maths problems. They just keep getting quicker and quicker.
Ah, you did it in under 30 seconds this time. Good, Chris, good.
As usual, the press choir on command. Oh, you can't make fun of people's appearances, only I can do that. Is there a quicker way to signal that you're a loser at school than to be offended by an appearance comparison? Everyone who's a legend, Helen Dalton, Kevin Rudd, Bill Shorten, Tanya Plibersek herself, even Peter Dutton, this is about him. He doesn't care about appearance shots. He cares about other petty shots that he takes to court and loses. But who, as we've pointed out before, actually does care about appearance shots? Dickheads. Clive Palmer, Nicole Flint, Chris Kenny, of course. He got mad that we called him a bowling ball. And of course, every journalist we've ever gone after, because those that hate personal attacks, end quote, hate it because they're the most narcissistic people in politics. They got into politics for no reason other than themselves, which is exactly why they get so upset when you call them names, because it relates to the one thing they care about. That's why I salute you for it, Tanya. You getting all that public housing built as housing minister is a distant second to your true contribution to this country, which of course is getting all those freaks to flip out momentarily. You know how politicians are the least trusted profession in this country? I swear to God the reason for that is because you are only ever seeing them through the lens of the second least trusted profession in this country. And that's what angers me about that list. The press should be at the absolute bottom of it as just a standard practice, just not even asked, just indisputably. Yeah, okay, yeah, no, we do suck, we're there. You know why Dutton shrugged the Voldemort comparison off? Because he possesses something that the last three Liberal leaders didn't have, which is vision. I've said it before and I'll say it again, and I know that this is heresy to go against the word of the God Emperor. Heresy, yeah. Warhammer 40k reference. There's your little fish food nerds. Tell me what video you'd like me to do about the Warhammer 40k universe. Come see my show. Tickets on sale across the nation. Lot of this politician looks like this movie character with accompanying slides, so you don't have to think at all. But McGowan's saying that he thinks Dutton's stupid. I don't think he is. I think he's more like Voldemort in more ways than just his appearance. Unlike Chris Kenny, who went on to try and say, I actually think Malcolm Turnbull's more like Voldemort, actually. No, Chris, you fucking idiot. It's clearly Peter Dutton. He truly is a master of the dark arts. Anyone who constructed the Southern Hemisphere equivalent of the CIA, the architect of Australia's deep state, that is the Department of Home Affairs, very smart man. To create a shadow government that controls all the spooks, all the Stasi, ramped up with spending to unprecedented levels, and pushed for cuts for anything remotely scientific so that you can suck all the brain power of this country out of, I don't know, developing aquaculture and figuring out how to protect coral, and then putting those brains into figuring out how to track everyone's thoughts online, who, as much as he pretends to be tough on China, key in a government that is a vanguard in the Western world in trying to contain Google just like China does. That had his fingerprints all over it. He truly was leading the world. He truly
Did great things. Terrible. Yes. But great.
Oh no, guys, that's pretty foreshadowing. Tell you what I'm relieved about, though. Thank God our Department of Magical Law Enforcement are the Australian press, who look exactly like the way they were depicted in Pauline Hanson's cartoons, and are so fucking dumb that after you had Peter Dutton and the new deputy leader of the Liberal Party, and I'm guessing Minister for Tarot and shit, Sussan Ley, who, if there was any justice in the world, she'd be tried at The Hague for her crimes against the environment. We've done numerous videos on her. As the good Sue has pointed out numerous times at Independent Australia, her record as Environment Minister is some of the highest land clearing we've ever seen in this country, highest mammalian special extinction rate in the world, and yet what do you get from the press? An hour of questions that only millennial reporters could ask. Have a listen to these. This is... I have to highlight this again. This is an hour.
Many multicultural and minority communities, including the disabled community and the LGBTIQ community, feel underrepresented by some of the Liberal policies and the Liberal Party itself. What's your message for them to know that that you will represent those people?
Here's one from I Will Bet My Life Savings, the reporters from Hack.
The Greens have 4 seats in the lower house.
Yes, Greens. Greens got 4 seats. Just have to bring that up for no other reason than I personally like them. Anyway, let's get to the meat of her question, and it's very important.
You say you're listening to female voters. How then do you explain keeping 2 men at the helm of the coalition?
Exactly. Men. Why do you, even exist, hey? Vacuous doesn't even begin to describe these people. This is all they can think about. This is how tiny their minds are. They're like preschoolers watching the ABC every day, but their version is, let's go through the racist window, yay! It's truly incredible how detached the press class is from the Australian public, and yet they're there to inform the Australian public, right? They think the reason the Liberals lost is because the Liberals hate women and don't believe in climate change, meaning everyone in the country voted the way I did in my teal seat, which is why I can't shut the fuck up about them and don't even know that Labor's in power. That is their world view. No concern for the country whatsoever, just some lemming soft power reason cooked up in corporate boards in America to get Hillary Clinton elected that didn't work. That's all they can think about now. They're never going to ask Dutton once about his mate who runs a car company that appears to do business with NKW Holdings. NKW Holdings got $82 million from Dutton's department to spend it on housing and feeding asylum seekers, to the tune of $1,400 a day per refugee. So, they had to get by on U2s per diem when they're on tour, apparently. You think they'd ask one question about that? Just one of, hey, when you were lurking around in the shadows of Home Affairs, were you really spending that money on giving asylum seekers room service at a purpose-built Hilton hotel? Gee, I wonder why so much money was involved. Just asking the question. If you want to know more about that, you're going to have to watch my videos on Dutton, because they're never going to ask those questions, are they? And another thing that they'll never ask about, they'll never ask Sussan Ley why you look like a frog that's had a lobotomy.
You can't say that anymore.
Because that's making fun of someone's appearance, and the press class are above that unless they're not, Same rule for everything, really, when it comes to them, but they're never going to ask Sussan Ley either about why she thinks it's appropriate she's still in Parliament after explicitly ignoring her legally required duty of care countless times as Environment Minister, lobbying for less powers to protect the environment, delivering on less powers to protect the environment. In fact, essentially making the role of Environment Minister nothing but an excuse for her to collect a paycheck off the government to do nothing, like she did with her investment property in Queensland, where she charges for 27 flights, obviously leading to truly catastrophic outcomes for Australia's ecosystems that you can read about in detail at friendlyjordies the facts. Now, what you get from the press for an hour straight is, you hate women. Are you sure you don't hate women? Seriously though, why do you hate women? And isn't this hilarious? Every time his little Voldemort trick, it was so easy. He wasn't even doing advanced magic here. He just went, da 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 da, ta-da, Sussan Ley, everybody. Go back and watch journalists from the 90s. It's depressing. At least they were smart in prosecuting their master's bidding. I honestly think Nigel Fairfax at ABC, somewhere along the line over the last 9 years, figured out, if you hire complete morons with the brain of a teenage TikTok addict, you don't have to actually break the journalists in. You just have the three idiots staring at the B in The Simpsons. Mr. Van Alton, why are we down here? Oh, gee, Medora, I told you to guard the D. But why? Oh, you guys are pathetic. No wonder 10 made me the head political guy. Anyway, with questions like that from the narcissistic press pack, it was so stupid they actually think the rest of the country thinks that they're strange little cultural fetishes that they use to axe each other in battles for head spider monkey in their little zoo cage. I'm sure easily the most formidable, intelligent Liberal leader Australia's seen since Howard won't be any danger to Albo at all. Like this video if you agree, and of course, new merch range available at friendlyjordies.com. See you next time with more of my digitised 50-year-old man reading the paper rambling simulators. The new editor's atrocious. Worse than the last editor. Didn't think it was possible. But they are! They really, really are. They just keep getting worse. Like this video if you agree, kids.
Please share and comment below. Comment.